imagine being so loved by Allah that your name is remembered in the highest heavens? That you're not just another person, but someone so special that angels know your name? Sounds amazing, right? Well, here's the thing. It's possible, and you can be one of them. Today we are going to talk about something life-changing. Stick with me because we will talk about the most beloved youth to Allah. Before we continue, I want to take a moment to thank every single one of you who has joined the membership to my channel. Your support means the world to me and helps this channel grow, spread the beautiful message of Islam, and create more impactful content. So, are you ready to find out how you can be among the most beloved youth to Allah? Let's dive in. Bismillah. First, I want to take you back to an incredible story mentioned in Sahih al-Bukhari, 5974. It's about 3 young men who found themselves in a desperate situation. Imagine this. These 3 young men were traveling when suddenly it started to rain heavily and they needed shelter. They found a cave and decided to rest inside. But as they entered, a massive rock rolled down and completely blocked the entrance. They were trapped. No way out. No phone to call for help. Nothing. Just them and their du'as to Allah. Now here's the amazing part. Each of them made a du'a to Allah based on one good deed they did purely for His sake. They asked Allah to help them if He accepted those deeds. And guess what? The rock moved a little with every du'a until they were free. Subhanallah, these young men were beloved to Allah because of their sincerity and their connection to Him. That's the kind of youth we're talking about today. Young people whose hearts are so close to Allah that He answers their prayers. So, what makes someone one of the most beloved youth to Allah? What do they do differently? The Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, said, "There are 7 whom Allah will shade with His shade on the day when there is no shade except His shade. Among them is a youth who grew up worshipping Allah." Sahih al-Bukhari, 660. Think about this for a second. On the day of judgment, when the sun is so close, people will be drowning in their sweat from fear and panic. But certain people will be under the shade of Allah's throne, completely safe. One of them is a young person who spent their youth worshipping Allah. This doesn't mean you have to spend 24/7 in the masjid. Worshipping Allah isn't just praying and fasting. It's living your life in a way that pleases Him. It's about making the right choices, even when it's hard. Let me give you some real-life examples of youth who were loved by Allah. Maybe you'll see yourself in their stories. The story of Yusuf, alayhi salam. Yusuf, peace be upon him, was a young man who faced one of the hardest tests. He was incredibly handsome, and a woman tried to seduce him. But he said, "I seek refuge in Allah." Quran 12:23. The Quran emphasizes his patience and devotion. Indeed, he was one of our chosen servants. Quran 12:24. Now think about this. Yusuf was a young man in a position where many would fall into temptation. But his love for Allah and his fear of disappointing Him gave him the strength to resist. This teaches us that no matter how hard the test, if we seek Allah's help and remember Him, we can overcome any challenge. Allah honors those who remain steadfast. Even when no one was watching, Yusuf chose Allah over his desires. And because of that, Allah honored him. So what can we learn from Yusuf? Self-control and remembering Allah when you're tempted. That's how you get closer to Him. Let's talk about one of the companions of the Prophet, peace be upon him. Mus'ab ibn Umair. Mus'ab was a young man who grew up in luxury. He had wealth, status, and was known for his elegance. But when he embraced Islam, everything changed. His family disowned him, and he lost all his comforts. Yet he didn't give up. Mus'ab became the first ambassador of Islam, spreading the message of Allah in Medina. He was instrumental in paving the way for the Prophet's migration. When Mus'ab passed away as a martyr in the Battle of Uhud, there wasn't even enough cloth to cover his body fully. But his legacy as a youth who gave everything for Allah remains unmatched. His life teaches us that true wealth lies in faith, not material possessions. He was so beloved by Allah that his sacrifice and dedication are remembered to this day. So, how can you become one of the most beloved youth to Allah? Here are 5 practical tips. 1. Strengthen your connection with Salah. The Prophet, peace be upon him, said, "The first thing a person will be questioned about on the Day of Judgment is their prayer." Sunan an-Nasa'i 3996. Don't just pray because you have to. Pray because it's your moment to connect with Allah. Imagine talking to the one who created you 5 times a day. How special is that? 2. Surround yourself with good friends. The Prophet, peace be upon him, said, "A person is on the religion of their close friend, so let them look at whom they befriend." Sunan Abi Dawud 4833. Find friends who remind you of Allah. Friends who push you to be better, not worse. 3. Control your desires. We live in a world full of temptations, right? Social media, parties, the pressure to fit in. But remember, every time you say no to something haram for Allah's sake, you're earning His love. 4. Seek knowledge. The Prophet, peace be upon him, said, "Whoever takes a path in search of knowledge, Allah makes the path to Jannah easy for them." Sahih Muslim 2699. Learn about your deen. The more you know, the closer you'll feel to Allah. 5. Do good in secret. Do something purely for Allah where no one else knows. It could be helping someone, giving charity, or making dua for someone. These small, secret acts are incredibly beloved to Allah. Look, I know being a young Muslim isn't easy. There are distractions everywhere. People might laugh at you for practicing your deen. They might say, "Come on, live a little." But let me tell you something. You're already living your best life when you live for Allah. Every prayer you make, every temptation you resist, every good deed you do, it's all adding to your account in Jannah. You're building a mansion in paradise. And trust me, when you get there, you'll look back and say, "It was all worth it." So, my dear brothers and sisters, let's strive to be among the youth who are beloved to Allah. Let's make our lives meaningful, purposeful, and full of barakah. If this video inspired you even a little, hit that like button, share it with your friends, and let's spread this message far and wide. And remember, you are never too young to make a difference, and you are never alone in this journey. Allah is always with you. Until next time, stay strong, stay inspired, and stay connected to Allah. Assalamu Alaikum wa Rahmatullahi wa Barakatuh.